whole thing is no. See, what was my line back? Do you?
Don't put the quarter.
You knew what I was about to say. Don't put the quarter in the machine. You don't want to play the game. That was my line. Like, so Mike, you okay, Mike? Mike, come back, Mike. Stay focused. You gotta get some more stuff, right? So again, now logically, you know, we guys are logical. But logically, I'm going, well, because my whole conversation was, let's take this back to the root. You know, so I'm going, let's take it back to the quarter. You put the quarter in, the machine turned on. Now you're upset that the machine is on tilt. Right? But I was like, don't put the quarter in the machine. It's real simple, right? This is what I'm thinking, but it's really not this. I have a responsibility here. So, again, it's not about storing up or just forget that, because now you're suppressing. You don't understand. You just forget it then. But you're not forgetting it. You're just storing it for a later explosion. You're showing dynamite, right? So patient communication is, okay, let's talk it through as soon as we can in the moment, but it's not personal. It's, you know, like it's not, see, once it becomes competition, the conversation is probably not going to go as well. Because now I'm trying to save face for, I'm not wrong. The person, I'm probably coming at the person like they wrong. So then now they got to like, well, if I continue with this conversation based on, he's looking to, you know, give somebody an electric chair. So, you know, so I don't know if I want to go any further. So I have to make it welcoming. The other person has to make it welcoming. It's like, okay, can we just get an understanding? That's how you flow together. Even in family, somebody says something to you or does something, they don't have your how you were raised. Like they don't, you know, they don't have all your detailed information of when someone calls your house, they're supposed to say hello first. Well, you might have been taught that, but they might have been taught, hey, what's up? But they're not against your rules. They don't have them. You know, they might have been taught when they come over your house, when you invite them over your house and you say we're family, they go to the refrigerator, go anywhere. But you might have been taught, listen, you don't go any further than the foyer until I tell you where you can go. And take them shoes off in the house. Right? So everybody, but you know, yes, some people walk in the house, go upstairs, you know, be on your computer, right? Not because they're coming against your rules, they don't know them. So we're trying to understand. You see what I'm saying? We're trying, so when we come together, when you get multiple people together, you have all different situations. We were talking about this with teams, the dumb mistake they made in the Super Bowl, but we were talking about how you could do something personal to affect the entire team because you don't know how to be a part of a family. See, a lot of people have not been a part of teams. So what you don't understand is everybody on the team didn't necessarily like each other. When the ball jumps up and it's tipped, we win together. Me, with myself, I wasn't into half the stuff they was into. I ain't like talking about other players and stuff like that. I go to another room. We be at the hotel, I go by myself and watch videos. So I was like, man, I'm not going to sit here and talk about all the other players, and I might play against that guy. But guess what? When it was time to win, we're all together. See, as family, we all flow different. But as far as this life and fulfilling purpose and doing what God says, we're supposed to be winning together. And the way you do that, you got to start opening up. If Terrence does something that's different from what I think he should do, I'm going, so Terrence, I know that you did such and such. Now, was that personal? Is it because I said something? Because I noticed that, you don't even talk to me no more. So I could do that, or I could do this. Tracy, Terrence is a trip. You know what I'm saying? But remember that one time, the way he spoke to you when it was time for
For Alabama.
Right. Remember that? And remember when it was time for praise and worship and he called everybody back there? Now, hey, Terrence, you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Tracy? So then, now Tracy goes, she talks to Mike. I was talking to Pastor Keith, and now we see it. I know you probably see it because when you come in, he going to tell you where to sit down. You know where you want to sit? I mean, usher, not controller, right? You know what I'm saying, right, Mike? As opposed to... Well, Mike, give me some help. As opposed to me just talking to Terrence. Because we're family, growing together. Okay, that's my flowing piece, okay? All right, so as we grow, we want to get to a place where we're, I'm gonna change all this around. We want to get to a place where we flow together, and one of the things we have to do is we have to, remember I said we want to win together? One of the things we have to win, growing together, is to win over worries. We have to win over worries. Let's go to Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3, 5. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. So if you never read nothing else in the Bible, that's the only scripture you had to work with. And the scripture that we know well. But again, there's some scriptures that, especially as we go into this year together, that we know that we're going to actually know a whole lot better because we're going to be living them. We're going to become living epistles. So, and that's the thing. This guy I was talking to today. It's one of my closest friends. The guy I told you that's a contractor, and we were talking about some of the things that we grew through back in the day. So he said, I got to a point. He says, where I'm at now is I'm trying to not be complacent. He says, I feel like I've been stuck in a rut. He says, and I don't like that. He says, I like moving towards dreams and achievements. So I was sharing to him what I share with you guys about touching your dream every day. And he said, but I remember, he says, one thing about it is when I'm around dreamers and entrepreneurs, he loves entrepreneurship. He used to read Success Magazine like all the time. And builders and stuff like that, because that's what he does. He says, I know when I'm around those people, I get inspired. He says, so when you called, he says, I was in an appointment, but he's like, Keith called. That might be my inspiration for me to be thinking about dreams. He said, because when we talked the last time, I was fired up, but just the challenge is that was a conversation, and I went back into my rut. And I said, remember back in the day, because we was all personal assistants together at the church, and we played ball together. We was all on the same basketball team. We was together all the time. But all we talked about is dreams, vision. So we were excited about, he was a contractor, so he was a painter at first, and he ended up being a general contractor on the $5 million building that was built. And so as he was going up the ladder, you about to be contractor now. Like every time he went to a level and he did something, we were like you about to cross over into this level. Then the guy I always talk about as a pilot, every time he passed something, he's like twin engine. And then I forgot what the plane is after that. And then the plane, but every time he would cross over to a certain level, we'd be like, so you're on your way to that jet? Like when I talked to him a week or so ago, he's flying all over the world, but they're cutting down on some things, I guess, because there's a lot of terrorist stuff out there. I don't watch the news. That's what he said. He said, well, Keith, you probably don't know what's going on out here, but it's a lot of terrorist stuff going on. So he said that they cut back, but he's flying. And then with me, every time I would minister or when I got ordained or something like that, it'd be like, okay, we see you doing this. But we were always excited about the next thing to come. And so I was telling them, I said, what me and my wife do is we not only confess the dreams and write the visions, things I tell you guys to do, but we're constantly talking about what we're looking forward to. So it keeps it alive. It keeps it stimulated. And I have a vision, at least a vision day every Thursday that, I'm going to work on a book. I'm going to do something to keep it going. But we were talking about just keeping. But see, he said something. He says, when I'm around, When I'm around people, the scripture says in a multitude of counsel there's safety. He says when I'm around people, something happens. I'm stimulated. You know, I'm motivated. I feel, I'm thinking about doing such and such. That's why the scripture says don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together. Because you have people that are filled with vision and passion and dreams, and you may have it, but for some reason you can't push. Then you get around them and they'll say something and you're like, it starts to stir up the gift that's in you. Like what Paul said, stirring up the gift that's in you. So you feel like it now. And then you think about it, but then you get around them. You know, you get around Natalie and we're going to do an ab workout today. So you're like, no, I'm not doing an ab workout. Then you see Natalie next week. Yeah, we're about to do the ab workout. No, yeah, you about to do the ab workout. I'm not, no ab workout for me. And then somebody else does an ab workout. I was like, well, I was with Natalie and did the ab workout. Well, that's nice that y'all did the ab workout, but I'm not doing the ab workout. But then one week you go, you know, I think I'm going to go do the ab workout. Why? It was around you so much. And you was thinking about it even when you said you wasn't going to do it because you know you needed to do it, but you kind of was trying to figure out ways around it. You know, but then it just, every time you turn around, you hear it, so eventually you do it. You see, because you were motivated by someone that was doing and someone that was talking about purpose and dreams and visions and things of that nature. That's why, see, when you isolate, you have a tendency to self-medicate. And you can get complacent because one thing about you know how to make you comfortable. But when you're, like right now, if you needed to be stretched, let's say to get looser, you'll stretch yourself a certain way. Let me stretch you. Oh, no, you're going to feel something. Why? First of all, I don't feel your pain. Now, I know enough about stretching where I'm not going to just take your leg and just snap it, you know. I mean, I wouldn't do that. But you will, you know, because I'll be stretching her from time to time. I said, babe, no, I got you. She said, no, I'm good. I was like, no, babe, let me help you out. She was like, no, babe, I'm good. No, I'll be all right. Because what? She going to feel it if I stretch her. When I did the massage the other week, listen, seriously, you know how your face is in the thing? So the guy, I guess he was using his elbows, fit what he was using, but I was in there. I wasn't screaming out loud, but you couldn't hear me, but I'm trying not to. I want him to do his job, so I didn't want to like jerk. And he's like, well, maybe I'm hurting the dude, which he was, right? Well, so I was just. Why? He wasn't feeling my pain. So he assisted in getting knots out that I couldn't get out. Actually, to me, I thought about the next day, I thought he actually added knots. Because that's the way I was feeling. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's a benefit for us to be together. And then you have, I'm going to give you this Ephesians. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the rest of the scripture. I apologize. Well, trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not to thine own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. This the rest of it. And then Ecclesiastes 3. And sometimes we're fighting and kicking when God is trying to fit us in, to harmonize. So to fit us in, sometimes you ever like, you know, if you're doing something, you know, you guys put together extended the soundboard back there. But to get it to fit, you have to cut. Because you were trying to get it to fit, right? So you have to cut because it was too much plywood, right? So it had to be cut. To get it to fit, it had to be cut, right? Yeah. All right, so God's trying to get you to fit, so sometimes he has to what? You said that real excited, Natalie, over there. Look. Jaws dropped in. Cut you.